Well, good morning, beautiful, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus podcast. We're going to be spending about the next 30 to 40 minutes working on our makeup, a little beauty on the outside, but then also working on a scripture memory verse, beauty on the inside. So let's just kind of jump in. Our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against thee. King James, sorry, you. Okay, and all of our scripture verses are going to be coming from the Word in Color coloring book. You can see that QR code on your screen there, and there's also a link for you as well. This is an affiliate link, so it's kind of like giving me a tip if you use that. So we're just going to work our way through these coloring Bible verses. At the end of our time together, you're going to have this beautiful coloring book, a journey of the scripture verses that you have been through with our time together. So let me get that off the screen there. There we go. The verse that we were working on last week was Proverbs 31:25. She is clothed with strength and dignity. Um, oh my goodness, I'm getting lost in my thought. Hold on. She is clothed in strength and dignity, and she laughs in the face of fear. Proverbs 31:25. Maybe a little bit different what you're looking at your screen or what translation you worked with, but that is from our coloring sheets there. Let's see. We are going to review our verses at the end. Our verse for this time around is going to be Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. And that comes from Psalm. Sorry, I'm getting used to adjusting from glasses and contacts, so now I can't see anything. Okay, that's I believe 96:4. So you can see that on your screen there. And we'll be working on that verse this week. On Wednesday, we'll look at our coloring sheets and see how you went. Now, this week's verse is pretty easy. The coloring page on this one, definitely doable in a week's period of time. So y'all should be able to handle that. Hey, good morning. I see some of you here with me this morning. Nice to have you with us. So I hope that you have your colors ready to go. Let me get this one off the screen. We're going to get this scrolling on the bottom so that we can review that while we are working on our makeup today. All right. I think we are all good to go now. Okay. So what we're going to be working on today is actually, I didn't change my theme on here, but what we're going to be working on today is a neutral theme. I know a little different for me, right? Because you used to seeing color, but don't worry, we're going to add a little pop of color in there just to keep it true to yourself, Wendy. So, found some new things from Juvia's Place this past week. Just could not help myself. Now, I haven't used these before. It'll be my first time, my first journey with you. So, super excited about that. But I know every other thing that I have used from Juvia's has just been amazing. So, cannot wait to try some of that. All right, so what you're going to need is you're going to need a light, a medium, a dark, and if you want to do like I do, you'll need some kind of a topper. Could be glitter, could be satiny, just something kind of lightweight that's going to add a little something something to that eyeshadow look we're going to be looking at. Then we're also going to do an ombre lip, so you're going to need a little bit darker lip color with a matching lipstick, and then a lighter color to be that lighter shade that we go to. The colors that I used today, like I said, are going to be neutral, so you're going to see a lot of browns, tans, and then a little bit of pink just for some pop of color. And then we're going to top that off with some lashes. So the first thing that we are going to start with is our Urban Decay All Nighter Primer. And one pump of this is going to do your whole face. You're going to put that in, get that between your fingers, get it nice and warm. What the primer does for you, this is going to blur out any fine lines and wrinkles. It's going to minimize pores. If you have more mature skin or dry skin, use that around your lips. That's going to keep your lipstick from bleeding out as well. It's just going to give your foundation a nice, even surface to set with, and it's also going to help it to last a little bit longer. So that's awesome. The concealer that we're going to be using today is the Bye Bye Under Eye. This is in the shade 11 Light Nude. This is from IT Cosmetics. This does a much better blend out if you let it warm up a little bit. So we're going to use a small ribbon. We're going to apply that where we want that to be. And then we're going to let it sit there for just a second to warm up to our body temperature. any place that you've got color that, that you don't want. Could be darkness, could be pink, could be, I don't know, maybe you got some yellow thing going on or something. But this is just going to help even out that skin color. So we're going to let it set there for just a second to warm up just a tiny bit. We are going to be using our Real Techniques. I believe this is called the Miracle Air Blend Sponge. Love that it has the pointy tip. Love that it has a flat tip for that foundation, and in this case, concealer. So the pointy tip is going to blend out the concealer. I have a little bit of red, hence the going down the center of the nose. And once you get your coloring pages finished, I would love you to share with me your picture. Yours is going to look different from mine, and I would just be excited to see what it is that you have done. What colors did you choose, and how does yours differ from mine? In saying that, I don't think I posted my picture yesterday. I'll have to do that later today. And I'm going to be using the Lancome Tinted Ultra Wear Foundation. This is in the shade 215 Buff. They have recently, sorry, I've just got a hair. There we go. Ooh. They've recently changed their formulation. This is actually the older one. So this one just has the SPF of 15 versus the SPF of, I believe, 30 that they have now. So when this one runs out, I'll switch over to the new one. All right, so we're just going to use about this much on each different section of face. So we've got center, side, top, and neck. So just a little tiny dot is going to do ya. And this is kind of a tapping, blurring motion. If you do not love your foundation shade, you can come in and we will shade match you. Either myself or one of my experts will do that for you. And if you want to bring in the foundation that you've been using, so if there's anything you don't like about it, we kind of know where we're starting from. If you don't like the shade, we'll, know what is up with that so we can get you matched correctly. All right, another is going to get you over here. Oh, super excited too. I also have a new MAC artist in my store. And so Jordan is awesome. You'll love her. So she can do classes for you if you want to learn how to do some of this in more of a one-on-one situation. Or let's say you've got a special event coming up and you don't want to do it yourself. You just want somebody else to handle that for you. She can do that. All right, you are now halfway done. One more pump. Going to catch under the chin here so we can blend out nice. I love that you can hear the sound of that beauty blender doing its job. Okay, another little pump's going to get you right up here. Just work it up into that hairline. If you have longer hair, you might use like a spa headband to keep your hair out of there. You can use your hand to just hold it back. You want it up to that hairline, but you don't actually want it like in your hair. Okay. And I feel like I've got a hair tickling me over here. That's always fun. Okay, we're going to go right up underneath the eyes there. So you got it all blended out nice. There you go. We are going to finish that off with a setting powder. My favorite is the Long Time No Shine from Lancome. One of the things I like about this one is that, first off, it comes with the little puff thing, so you don't got to buy something extra. It's milled very fine, so it gives a nice finish. Also, it has shine control properties, hence the long time no shine. All right, so you're just going to give that a couple of taps upside down. That's going to put the powder in your little reservoir here. And we're just going to put about powder on about half of that. Work that around the eye area. Just the same way that we did the foundation, we're going to work that powder covering those same areas. You can use a brush if you like to. I think that wastes a lot of product, so I prefer using the puff. So more of the product ends up on my face and less into the air where I have to dust. Because I don't know about you, but my least favorite chore is dusting. No, maybe it's washing dishes. No, I think it's dusting. I see others have agreed with me. Dusting's not fun. I think it's been made a little bit better by those, what are they called? The Swiffer things. Little fluffy and colorful. I don't know. Makes it a little more fun. Okay. Last part we're going to do here is up here on the forehead. Just pressing that into that foundation and up to that skin. All right. Once you have got a nice set foundation, we're going to move on to the contouring. Okay, so here's some new fun things. So today, recently I've been using the Juvia's Place Blushed, the Volume 4. That has been my blush, but they came out with their bronzers. And so I am going to be using the bronzy or the bronzed in tan. That is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then let me show you the blush. This is the volume 4. We're going to be using the top shade there. I don't know where that accent came from. And then we're going to be using the Too Faced. This is the Cheek Popper, and this is in their Pinker Times collection. As you can see, I love that because it's almost gone. So I probably need to get another one before they don't have that anymore because it is a limited edition collection. All right, we are going to be using our IT Cosmetics dual-ended brush. This end is going to be the bronzer. This end will be the highlighter. So I'm going to dip into the darker shade here. Most of the Juvia's Place products are very pigmented, so as this is the first time I'm using it, I am going to dip gently. Okay, here we go. Oh, not actually quite as dark as I was thinking. Okay, I don't really want that in my hair though, so let's do this. Oh, wow. That's a beautiful color. Kind of in a curved motion here. And then up that temple there. We're going to go right up to that hairline. Using the side of the brush. I'm going to go under the jaw. On the other side. This will help to give definition to that jawline. Using the side of the brush again, we're going to go beside the nose and then under the tip. Might be a little bit yellowy for me. Okay, now we're going to go into the volume 4 in the blush. Volume 4, we're going to use this darker color here. Switching brushes. Oh, actually, I take that back. We've just got the bronzer on there. We're going to move to the highlighter. Now you're going to use the fluffy end of the brush. You're going to go on the top of that cheekbone there and up the side of the temple right here next to your brow and your eye. We are lifting and elevating those areas there up the center, making sure that we hit that Cupid's bow right there. That will give definition to that lip we're doing here in just a minute. Okay, now we're going to be doing the blush. So back to the volume 4. We're going to be using that darker color there. Seriously, it just takes a couple of taps because these are very pigmented. Up against that hairline. Tiny, tiny tap on the nose, right there on the chin. I kind of like that. Okay, we're going to set those aside for just a minute and let's take a look at our lips. So for today, we're going to be using 2 MAC lipsticks. The first one is called Antique Velvet. This is a matte lipstick. It is a beautiful brown color. Let me show you this. See, oh my gosh, it's just such a, you're not sure if you want to drink it or if you want to use it on your lips. Okay, and then you wouldn't get it, and this is a matte. This is going to be the color that we're going to ombre to. And then we're actually going to be using a new Juvia's Place lip liner. That is not it. It is this one here. The Juvia's Place, this one is called the Luxe Liner, and this is in Coffee Bean. Beautiful. This is a twist up. Beautiful, beautiful chocolate color. So we're going to start with this here. We're going to outline the lip. I mean, you are going to straddle on the edge of that lip line. I am not one of those over liner people. I don't like that. But we are going to ride that lip line as close as we can. Making sure we work out a nice V right there in that Cupid's bow. All right, and I just realized before we started the lip, we should have worked through our verse. So that verse is going to be scrolling on the bottom of your screen now. So you can say that with me. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. Psalm 96:4. So that's our verse for this week. Now let's get back to our lip. Okay. Nice. Beautiful. I love that color of chocolate. All right, now let's get the bottom line here. All right. And move that pencil in just a little bit with a little lighter pressure, and that'll help with that ombre that we're doing. Lip liner also helps your lips to last a little bit better, so let's do that on that top lip too. All right. Get back just a little bit, take a look. Here we go. Now we're going to take the 2 lipstick colors that we've got. The first one that we're going to use is going to be the Antique Velvet, which is the wonderful, nice chocolate color. And what we're going to do is go over that liner that we just did and about halfway into the lip, working along that outside edge, and then later we'll add the other color. So here we go. All right. So you can see now we've left the center vacant. So we're going to grab a lighter shade, whether you choose the shade that I've got or some other shade, whatever the lighter shade is, and that's going to go in the middle. For me, this is going to be the You Wouldn't Get It. And this is a nice light pink color. There was another one that they had that I really liked. We just didn't have it in stock. So we're going to go with this one here. Now you're going to work from the center out of this. So more towards the inside, almost to the inside of your mouth kind of thing, and then work it out and blend it out to that beautiful chocolate color that we just put. So here we go. Give it a couple of lip smacks. There you go. And now you have it blended out a little bit. Go over that chocolate a little bit with it. Nice. All right, now we're going to switch to the fun part. Well, actually, yeah. Well, since we missed the verse part earlier, let's just do the verse again before we move on to the eyes, because the eyes are going to be super fun today. So, great is the Lord and most worthy of praise, Psalm 96:4. All right, so fun stuff. We are going to be working with, I mean, when this palette came out, I was drooling over it. This is the coffee shop from Juvia's Place. These colors are just beautiful. I know I don't normally do neutrals, but these are just absolutely beautiful. So we're going to use a couple of different brushes today. First one is we're going to be using an all over shadow brush. Then we're going to be using a crease brush. These are all from It Cosmetics. We'll be using, actually this one is a MAC, looks like maybe a 219. This is more of a smudger. And then we'll be using what looks like a MAC 263. This is an angled eyeliner brush. And then we may or may not be using this traditional shadow brush. This one is a MAC as well. Looks like 239, 280, something like that. Okay, so we're going to start with our all over shadow brush, this one here. And I am going to grab, oh, actually, these don't have shade names on there. Yeah. Well, I'm going to grab not the lightest shade, but the second lightest shade. And for me, it's going to be this one right here. And we are going to go about 3/4 of the lid is going to get this on it. Oh yeah, look at that color. Wow. Good job, Julia. And like I said, about 3/4. So you're going to go just past where your brow bone is right there. Do that same thing on the other side. And now using the same brush, minus the little hair, using that same brush, you're going to grab the lightest color that you have. For me, that's going to be this shade right here. So you're going to just get a little bit on there and put that right up there on that brow bone. And then blend it down into the color that we just put on there. And now we've got a foundation to work with for our shadow. I don't know if you ever took art class or not, but remember when they used to have you paint your canvas white before you actually started your painting? This is kind of like that. Okay, now we're going to grab our angled eyeshadow brush and we're going to choose a dark color, but not the darkest color. So for me, I think I'm going to go with this one right here. I think this will be a great color. No, I changed my mind. Let's do this one right here. So loading the brush just by taking the end and going through the shadow. And now we're going to straddle right up under that brow bone right there. Mm, I take that back. We're going to take a tissue and lighten that. Go back with that and erase it. Okay, never happened. Never happened. Your fluffy brush is going to remove any fallout that you got. Okay, so let's go back with this. Let me wipe that off. And I am going to go with that first color that I had said. I just feel like that last one didn't have quite enough warmth to it. So I'm going to go with this one here. Oh yeah, much better. And then we're going to come down here, making kind of a V in that outside edge of that eye there. And same thing on the other side. Oh, yes. Great question. Great question. So we're going to add a little definition to this with the next color here in just a minute. So that's why you're choosing the second darkest shade, not the darkest shade at this point. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so just going to go back over that just a tiny bit. All right. And now we're going to blend that out just a little. And actually, I think I'm going to grab my all over to do the blend out of that. There we go. You can put a little bit of that lighter color on there if you want to soften the edge of that a little bit. All right. Catch any fallout you got going on already. We are going to take our eyeliner brush, and with this one, you're going to use your deepest color. So for me, that's going to be this one right here. And again, just like with the angled brush for the crease, you're going to take this and drag the flat end through the shadow, not like sideways, but like this. Okay, one drag through, come to the inside of that eye, and just put that line right there. A little more about halfway through, and a little more from the outside edge in. And then we're going to do it again, and we're going to catch right across that lash line down there. There we go. And now let's do that same thing on the other side. Now we're not going to leave it like this, so don't get excited. And then across that lash line. All right. Now we're going to grab this smudger brush that we have, this one here. Again, you're just going to tap the tip of it into that same exact shadow. And we're going to use that to just blend out that color that we put in there because we don't want a harsh line. So you're just going to tap that tip into that shadow and use that to blend that out ever so slightly. We want to make sure it's a little more intense on the outside corner. Now, once you've done this a couple of times, you can get this done a little bit faster than what we're doing today. Like anything, practice makes it go faster, and actually, it's perfect practice makes perfect. I know I can hear my third grade piano teacher in the back of my head. Okay. Oh my gosh, these are just beautiful colors. And once again, we are going to remove the fallout, just lightly brushing away. And you can see as you look at this, this is again what I would call it's not really a cut crease, but it's a modified cut crease. Then you can use the tip of that liner brush to just work out that inside edge. Make sure you've got a smooth ending there. Okay, just to make sure that I've got clean in here, we're going to take that line all over brush, dip that back in that same all over color, just tap over that area, make sure it's nice and clean. There we go. Run it up here maybe. Okay. Now we're going to take our liner, which is the NYX Professional Retractable Eyeliner. This is in the shade of black. Don't put your eyeshadow away yet. We're not quite finished with it. And we're going to line the top of the lid about halfway. And then we're going to line the bottom lid, not on the lip, but on the outside edge, about maybe a third of the way. So outside corner, you're going to go about halfway across. Right along that lash line. There we go. And then on the bottom, let me see if I can get my little mirror up here. On the bottom, we're going to line it about a third of the way. Okay. You're going to go back to your liner brush, and we're going to grab that medium color brown that well, it was the lighter darker. So we're going to take that liner brush, tap it on a tissue or a brush cleaner, move that back into that medium brown, and we're going to go over the liner on the bottom that we just did, and then work it to the edge. Right there. This is going to give you a finer, less liney, dark looking liner. Much softer, not so harsh. All right. Now that we've got that in place, I think we're actually going to do the topper and then we'll do our liquid liner. So today I'm going to use the Ultimate Glow Shots. This is from NYX Cosmetics. This is in the shade Plum Player. So this is a liquid eyeshadow. And I do not want to just like tap this on here because we're using it like a topper. We're going to take it and we're just going to grab a little bit on the finger and then we're just going to tap it into the shadow just to give it a little bit of that pink glisteniness. And you're using it on the main part of your lid, every place where you have that all over shadow color. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. So now we've got a little sparkle in our natural. All right, so before we move on, let's see, let's do the eyeliner. We are going to be using the Too Faced Better Than Sex liquid eyeliner. So that one you have to give it a couple of shades. You can hear those balls moving around in there. This is a felt tip, beautiful, easy to control liquid eyeliner. So we're just going to give it a thin line, nothing too drastic. We just want to give that the lashes a nice area to adhere to. All right, same thing on the other side. This will also help to, this will also help to give it'll cover up, if you don't get your lashes all the way down to your lash line, using the liquid liner will masquerade that skin that might be showing. You don't use a liquid liner and you could potentially see a gap in there. That's never a fun thing. So the liner just kind of gives you a little bit of insurance, and then it also helps the lashes to adhere a little bit better rather than sticking on the shadow. Okay, once you are happy with your line, giving a look, making sure we've got that pretty even, now we're going to move to the brows. So today I'm going to try a little bit of an experiment, like I don't already have a couple going on here. We are going to use the NYX Epic Wear. This is the liner stick. This is in the shade Pink Spirit. And we are going to use an eyeliner for our brows because I have pink hair. It's not kind of hard to find a pink eyebrow product. So for you, you use whatever it is that you've been using. So this is a nice, nice pink color. We are first going to use, oh, I don't think I actually brought one over here. Yeah, here we go. It's a eyelash spoolie, but it'll work. So first we're going to spoolie through our brows, making sure it is clear of any foundation buildup, that we don't have an excessive amount of shadow in there, brushing the hair in the direction that we want it to go, all those good kind of things. And now we're going to take our liner product, or your brow product as the case may be, and just using nice fine strokes, we're going to fill in that brow. I will tell you, if you use an eyeliner for this, you need to use a little gentler pressure than what you would use with a brow pencil because these are a little softer. Want to know how I know this? All right, let me get that just a little more to the inside there. Nice. All right, we're going to come over here and now we're going to match that other side. Again, using just short strokes. My brow kind of stops a little short, so let me extend that out just a little bit. And if you have bigger brows, you are so lucky. I just did not get gifted with bigger brows. They're waiting for me in heaven. Okay, check to make sure we got the brows even on both sides. I like that. And then we're going to take that spoolie through one more time. All right, now we're going to step back and we're going to take a look and see if our shadow is coming up correctly on both sides pretty evenly. It looks like mine is not pretty evenly, so we're going to even that out just a smidge. Looks like I need a little more on this side over here. I always tend to be a little bit lower on this side. Maybe you're that same way. You kind of lean more strong on one side versus the other side. Okay, I'm happy with that. We're going to put our eye brushes to the side. Checking again for fallout. If you're like me and you got a little eye water, just give that a tap. So now we're going to apply our mascara. We are in the home stretch now, people. Okay, so again, let's look over our Bible verse together. So, great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. And that is Psalm 96:4. We're going to use that verse as our timer for our lash curler. I love the Tarte Cosmetics one. I think that the little gripper on this makes it super easy to hold. And that way you can't let loose of it. The little rubber piece here does a really good job of getting those lashes curled and also lasting a long time, staying intact. So we are going to put this on the lash just a little bit away from the skin. You do not want any pinching. If you feel pinching, release it and place it again a little farther from that lash line. So catch all your lashes in there. Move from the lash line just a little bit. There we go. And then there. And so our timer is going to be our Bible verse. Uh, Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. Psalm 96:4. Do I have the scripture reference right? Yes. Okay, great. And so release. I'm going to move to the other side, away from the lash line. Make sure there's no pinching. There we go. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. Psalm 96:4. And then you're going to release that. Today I'm going to be using the Bad Gal Bang Mascara, which happens to be one of my favorites. This is the water resistant formula, the original formula. This is just in the shade of black. And we're going to start with the top lashes, which we just curled. Okay. And we're just going to do a nice coat on there. If you were gifted with black lashes, you may get to skip this step. However, mine are kind of blondie brownie, so that would look kind of weird against a black lash. Okay, there's one coat. You can see already what a difference that makes. And now we're going to switch to the other side here. Making sure we catch those tips too. There we go. And then we're going to give some love to the bottom lashes as well. That's always fun. With the bottom lashes, I always give a little sweep from the underside too, so you can make sure it gets all the way down to the tip. Now you saw just a second ago where I kind of touched my skin on the inside. That's where this little baby comes into play. This is a Velvet Luxe number 310 It Cosmetics brush. Any little bullet tipped brush will do. You're just going to take that little bullet tip and sweep it up in there, and voila, that mascara oopsie is gone. Okay, now we're going to move to the other side of the lower lashes. Making sure we're sweeping from the underside as well. Using the tip of that brush to really fine tune and get that mascara exactly where you want it to be. All right. And again, you saw me kind of touch to the outside here. Going to take that bullet tip and just make that disappear. Every once in a while, you may take the tip of that and put it in that long time no shy. Just give it a couple of taps. That will help it to have something to kind of wipe away and erase any accidents that happen. So now we're going to move on to our lashes. Today we're going to be using the Juvia's Place. This is a Nubius Place, and this is a Zaira, I believe, the medium volume, and then our velour lash tool. So when we pull the lashes off of the tray, you're going to go from the outside edge with that lash tool. I always set them on the countertop in the correct order that they're going to be going in. This particular lash, it has a nice flare to it. So narrower on the inside, flared out to the outside, so it makes it super easy to not mix up the inside edge from the outside edge. But once your lashes, you've used them a few times and they really shape to your eye, you want to make sure you're keeping them in the right order because it'll contour to your eye. The adhesive that we're going to be using is the Kiss Lash. This is the super strong strip. Wait a minute. Super strong strip lash adhesive from Kiss Lashes. Okay, so just give that a little bit of shake there so you can make sure that adhesive is all mixing up. And this one has a nice brush tip on the end of it. Let me show you that. So we're just going to line the front edge of that lash. Go in as many times as you need, but don't pump. And then we're also going to cover the back side of that rim as well. So we're getting enough adhesive on here for that to really stick. And if you get it on the lash on accident, just wipe it off quickly. There you go. So we're going to set that one down. Going to move to the other one. Catching the back side of that lash band as well, making sure we're paying attention to the outside edges of the lash band because those are be the ones that have a tendency to lift. If you've ever felt like a wetness or a pinchy feeling, that just means that your lashes have lifted on whatever edge that is. I'm having allergies this morning, so sorry. Okay, so now we're going to take our velour lash brush and we are going to grab those lashes in the inside middle. If these are new, you can actually take the lash and give it a little bit of motion this way to help it get curled for you. These I've used a couple of times, so I don't really need that. Okay, so we're grabbing that here. You can tell this one is this side because the inside edge is shorter, outside edge is longer. We're going to set this on the lash line just as close to that lash line as you possibly can. We're going to set it in the middle, go to the inside, set it down, work our way around to the outside, set that down there. Then our lash will be in place. Okay, so setting that down as close as we're kind of coming down, setting it down as close to that lash line as absolutely possible. Then we're going to go to the inside edge, set that down, making sure that's right where that black. Another thing about the liner is it gives you a runway for where to put your lashes. Okay, we're going to pick that up, set that down over here. We're just going to walk around those lashes, pressing down, making sure we have made good connection. And we're going to go to the underside, make sure our lashes are weaved around and into that lash line there. And looks like I might have a little liftiness here, so we're going to just drag that down. There we go. If you happen to get glue on your tool, just wipe it off. There you go. Then we're going to go here and get that down. There we go. Checking the inside corner one more time before we move on to the other lash. There we go. And you can see how close that is to my lash line there. Going to pick up the other lash. Do the same thing with this one. Holding it in the center, we're going to set it down in the center. Those are just beautiful lashes, aren't they? Okay, setting that down in the center, right next to that lash line. On this side, I don't know, it's because it's my left one. I like to do the outside edge first on this one. And then we're going to go to that inside, setting that down. Making sure we are getting that as close to that natural lash line as possible. Checking the inside corner again. I'm going to make sure my lashes are integrating well. There you go. Looks like I got a little space here, so let's just kind of pinch those together. There we go. Checking the other side. Maybe it's just me, but my inside corners have a tendency to try to lift. There we go. And then just to make sure everything's good, press down a little bit. Just making sure you've got good connection between your lid and that lash product. There we go. Beautiful. All right. What is the last thing that we have to do? We have our verse to look over. So let's say that together again. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. And that's Psalm 96:4. And you can see I've got a little over happening here. You just take that lash tool, get rid of that. Nice. The last thing we're going to do is we are going to set all of our makeup with our Urban Decay D-Slick. I have combo skin, so I use the D-Slick rather than the original relaunch because I need that little bit of oil control. I like this one better than the Ultra Matte personally, but you use what works for you and your skin type. So, Urban Decay D-Slick. Going to give it a little bit of a shake. We're going to tip our head back a little bit and spray. There you go. Fan that down a little bit. All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. It has been a joy to be with you, to put our makeup on together, a little beauty on the beauty on the outside, and a whole lot of beauty on the inside. So we're going to review our verses that we have been working on so far. Let me get over to here. Let me get the scroller stopping. There we go. And let's start at the very beginning. There we go. In episode 1, we worked on 1 Peter 1, 24 and 25. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of the Lord endures forever. And that was 1 Peter 1, 24 and 25. Then we moved on to Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Then we did 2 Corinthians 12:9. God's grace is all you need. Then we moved to Joshua, back to the Old Testament. Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord God is with you wherever you go. We moved over to Exodus and we did the Lord is my strength and my song. Then in episode, what do we at now? Let's see, 18. Oh, I don't know. Whatever the next episode was. And we did Psalm, I believe it was 118, no, 1824. Anyways, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us be strong and rejoice. Then we did the moon and the stars you set in place, and that was from Psalm, I believe, 8:3. When we moved to stayed in Psalm for a little bit after that. Taste and see that the Lord is good, and that was Psalm, I think, 14:8, 34:8, 34:8. Then we had what was the next one? Galatians 6:9, I believe. And do not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Then we had, let's see. Then we go back up to the top. What did we do after Galatians 6? Oh, Proverbs 31:25. That's the one that we did last week. And last week's verse was, she is, oh my goodness, she is clothed in strength and dignity and laughs without fear of the future. There we go. Okay, Proverbs 31:25. And then we've got our verse for this week. And our verse for this week again is going to be Psalm 96, verse 4. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. Oh my goodness. We're going to have to do a video just on our review verses because next week will be on 11. Next week will be on 12. This is episode 11. So very exciting. So again, all of our verses are going to be coming from the Word and Color coloring book. You've got that on your screen there. The link to that's also going to be in the description of this podcast. So we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at our closing verse. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. So, thank you so much for hanging out with me today with our podcast, A Little Bit of Makeup and a Whole Lot of Jesus. Let me pray us out today. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for the friends that have joined me today, for the friends that see this podcast later on. And I just thank you so much that we get to spend this time together as women, enjoying Jesus together and celebrating the beauty that you've given us that we can add to the outside. And then the beauty that we have, which is most important, which is on the inside. I pray that you would be with us this week as we work on our verse and that we would just hide your word in our hearts. Well, it has been a great day hanging with you. Thank you so much, beautiful, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye until next week.